Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, mi gente? It is your girl, Idylli, and we are on the Speak Easy with Idylli show. Let's go. Yes. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Yes, it's another week has gone by. Is it just me or is time flying? Like, bro, school is about to start. Summer is over. I'm pretty sure, like, by tomorrow we're all going to be singing Mariah Carey's because like literally that's how fast time is going. We're going to be right into the holidays soon, but I want to slow us down today. Right? I want to slow us down and I want you to say thank you. I want to say thank you, right, for taking the time to literally spend it with me, right? Every week you guys come and you honor my special guest and we bring value, and this it just continues to grow and grow and grow, and you like it and you share and then you comment and you send me DMs, and I'm so honored. I'm humbled. You listen, I am so humbled and honored and thankful that you spend your time with me here every single week. And for those of you that catch it on the replay, y'all know I love my replay people. If you're catching this on the replay, make sure that you comment replay, okay? And I will make sure to give you a shout out as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just some really quick. I am consistently helping transition lives, women's lives every single day, right? I help women be unapologetically who they are while growing into who they're meant to become. If you're wondering, oh, how does she do that? Or what does that even mean? Definitely comment story there at the bottom. Definitely comment to grow. And yes, so that will be next level there. Okay. And then of course, I I like to talk about core values. I think it's important for us to understand that we should all have core values, right? And some of these for me will be courage, confidence, clarity, and nothing like being clear about what your next step is going to be. Consistency, mi gente, that's what changed my life. Telling you, this could have been happening a long time ago, even though it's God's plan, right? It was the consistency that completely changed my life. And of course, contribution. We're put on this earth to contribute. Okay. And so these C's are the core values that the Speak Easy community, the Speak Easy movement really stands on. And so thank you so much for just being a part of that. If you just take one of these C's and work on them every single day, that would be awesome. Now, of course, I want you to pay close attention because the guest is coming up and some things are really, really focus on our next guest speaker because he has an incredible story. And I'm really, really excited to be able to share just a piece of it, right, with you guys tonight. Now, him and we met recently through an encounter at church, and we immediately connected. We immediately realized that, he invited me to his podcast. If you haven't caught that episode, I'll definitely put that in the chat. He is on all major platforms. He's an incredible leader. He loves talking to women and veterans and children. And listen, it says it in the Bible, like literally, the way to live is to honor widows and children. Okay. So at the end of the day, he is walking in the calling and the purpose that has been given to him and to all of us. Okay. And that's in James, if you know what I'm talking about, if you want to find it, if you don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm super honored that he took the time to join us here today. Recently, he's gotten even more education and graduating with his master's degree. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So J.R. McIntyre, AKA the Hood Motivator. Hi.
Going on.
Yes, I know. I said I'm gonna get the noise. Because I'm like, we need some noise over here, y'all. Clap. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's grow, right? I love that so much. So, okay. So this is a lot, right? First, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on here, sharing your story. We really, really appreciate it. We're excited for tonight. Now, I'm going to start at the beginning. I know that you are J.R. McIntyre. I know that you had that doctor in front of your name, and that didn't come lightly. And I also know that you're the hood motivator with the eight, y'all. Don't forget it, okay? With the eight.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit of that. How did that start? Not the hood motivator, JR. Like, where are you from? Where were you born? You have brothers and sisters, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I'm Jr. I'm from California, Long Beach, born and raised North Side. Um, I got a brother, I got a sister. My older sister, she did a lot of the raising me. That's I get a lot from her, her pedigree. My mother, as we all know, my mother passed when I was small, like 9 years old of age. So I went through that. Then I got a little brother who's 20 years younger than me off my dad's second marriage. So that's my little brother right there. But other than that, man, growing up in California. It was like it was rough. Going through the little simulations of I call it sim labs. Every year we would go through different training, and our training was different in the hood. Looking at the dope dealers, looking at the gangbangers, looking at the hustlers, everything. So you pick up a little bit of all that stuff as you walk to school. Because I was walking to school since I was like 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's no stranger to us to walk mile and a half, 2 miles to get to where we have to go out there in California. But it was dangerous. But it was like a yellow brick road because you run into so many obstacles that you got to overcome before you get to school. So.
I love that so much. So did I. And I know that's some of the reasons that we connected because we have a similar, upbringing in our childhood. And so did I. But it's funny. I have an 8-year-old now, and I won't even let him take the bus. Like, I'm dropping you out and picking you up from
Right,
school.
right. It changed, definitely
The
changed.
times have changed, right? But yeah, we did. And I mean, I remember just walking, even I'm from Chicago, so it was snow, like even in the snow, like just trooping to school every single day. And we had to get back home. And of course, our parents weren't home. We had to take care of ourselves, right? They call us, I guess, latchkey kids, right? That's what it was. And
Yeah.
so I love that you're sharing that with us. Now, a lot of people will look at you and they'll look at all these titles behind you and then the way that you speak. Let's be real, right? But you call yourself the hood motivator, but you're cleaned up. And so I want to ask you, like, what was that difference? What is it that didn't stop you to go into that corner when you were walking by it every single day and actually get caught up in that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think people got the wrong perception of what the hood is, right? So I feel like if we watch like Green Lantern, and if you saw that part where they all gathered and everything in the world was a Green Lantern, right? So in my matrix, I'm the Neo, and I understand the development. Um, Most of the hardest dudes I know spoke like me, very quiet, introverts, smart, very can fight, all these things. So the hood to everybody else is probably like a jungle, and rough to us is like, okay, this is my hood. This is how we grew up. Yeah, they get jiggy with it, but at the end of the day, there was some intelligent people. Other than people glorify. Look at Nipsey, but there's a lot of Nipsey where we came from. Look at me. That's why I would never relinquish that hood situation because I grew from there. North Long Beach, back of us was Compton, East Long Beach. So it was a little war zone, but you know what I'm saying, navigating through that and understanding who you are, that's what makes me right now who I am. And I didn't add all that other stuff to after the military, right? So it's like different transitions of my life, of chapters that I had to go through to become who I am today. Like I just wake up and like I want to get a master's degree, I want to get a doctorate, I want to get a bachelor's, I want my project management certification. No, I didn't want none of that. I didn't even want to go in the military. You know what I'm saying? So after jail, I went straight into the military, and my dad was
Mm,
trying to get me to go into the Navy twice since I graduated high school.
mm,
But my mind changed quickly after I went to the county jail. And it was like, do you want to stay in there or you want to go serve your country? I'm like, you know what? I might as well go get paid for doing the same stuff I'm doing out here, right? So my uncles talked to me, family members talked to me. Some was on the fence. Some was like, don't go do that. But then I had other smart individuals in my corner was like, get out of here. Like,
yeah.
do what you
No,
got.
that's good. And I love how you transition that. And that's why I asked that question because it's so true. So many people have this like typical stereotype because that's what the world and television and the radio and stuff has put on there, but it's not necessarily always the case. There's just a part of it.
Right.
And so I'm so glad that you were able to say that. And then transitioning, from jail to the army. I mean, it was one of the things for my son as well. Like he was graduating high school. He told me he don't want to go to school. We like, you going to the army, like do something, like, right? He's like, oh, I want to infiltrate, whatever. I'm gonna have a hot boy summer. That's what he told her. I said, what? We went right. We went right. He said his best friend and him want to have a hot boy summer. No, we went right to that office and was like, here you go, take the test, sign up, do what you got to do. And he did. And he did it for the reserves, but it was one of the best things. 2 years later, he's still, rocking and rolling, but it kept him out of trouble and it
Right.
kept him in a good way. So I understand, like, having to make that decision, man, like if I would have made that decision when I went to jail, like my life would be completely different because it is a difference, right? Like you understand, you want to be in an orange jumpsuit or you want to wear that green army. Either way, it's, you know what I mean? Either way, it's growth. And so you decided to say, after your uncles talked to you, after some people were with it, some people weren't, you said, I'm going to go to the army.
Right.
What did it look like for you? About how old were you when you started that journey?
I joined the army in 2002, July 23rd, 2002. 2 weeks after I got out of jail, I turned 20 and went to the army. And the army changed my life. It helped me figure out what I wanted to be, and also harness a lot of bit of my anger that I had towards the city I was growing up. My mother dying, like I didn't understand that I was the baby, so it's like why everybody else got their mom. So I had a mean streak, but I wasn't as what you see right now. I was little, so I could fight, but I was very little. So I was causing harm, but not that much harm. Like imagine me now just terrorizing the streets. So, but no, it wasn't like that. Like I had to develop, and God put me in that situation. And I tell people all the time, like prayer in the gym always saved my life. And one of that, and inside of that is the army. It got me away from that stinking thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, which is so important, that mindset. And I really believe that that's what sports does for young kids and army and, these different avenues and transitions that we can make for our children just to help them get out of that stinking thinking. Because if you stay in that area, that's all you're going to get.
Right.
So you went to the army. Like when you said you were little, I can't even picture you little. I've always seen you like this, right?
Yeah. Everybody say that too. And I'm like, I'm 43. So it's like it took me a while to get to where I'm at. What I wanted to build is exactly what I see now, but it took me timing, right? For mental, for my physical, for my spiritual, for my energy, everything as a man. I feel like now in my 40s that I am that warrior man that's soft spoken, but will pick up a sword and do what I have to do,
Yes, I love that you just said that because it's so important. People think this is a journey for you. Now you're in your 40s and now you're not only where you are, your body, but it's all together, like a mindset, spiritual. Like it's a package deal. It's like chocolate cake.
Right.
You can't make it without the oil. You can't make it without the eggs. Like you got to have the whole package deal, to be able to grow. And I think it's something about your 40s, Jay, man. Like it's something about your 40s that gives you that transition, like especially when you've been working hard at it and you know what you want. We're in that second half of our life. That's why I say, like, we're in that second half, right? We're not really old and we're not really young anymore, but we know what we've worked hard for. And so now you're in your 20s, you're in the army. You were there for about 10 years, right?
No, I did 15 years in the army.
15. Okay, look at that. 15 years. 15 years. Wow. A lot of people, honestly, because of that stinking thinking, they do 4 and get out. Like they run.
Yeah. The time
What
that
made you sign every 4 years? What made you resign?
I had nowhere to go, right? So coming back is like either you continue your career and what you want to build or go back home to the same thing you just left, right? You did all that to get here and then go back home for 4 years. No, I didn't want to come home and say I didn't have anything, right? So it's like, okay, but at my time we were busy. So in 4 years, I had already did 2.5 deployments, right? So I was 13 months, 15 months. So imagine that. So I'm already and then I was living in Germany, right? So I'm like, I'm not going home, man. I'm having fun over here in Germany. So we partied a lot in Germany, but when we went to Iraq, it was war. Like I didn't sit behind no desk. Like we was out there running these missions and doing what we had to do to, for our units and our area of responsibilities. It was rough. I never experienced nothing like that in my life. Actually, it helped me grow up to a part to relish that you don't have to be so angry to kill someone, right? So you thought, when you're little, it's like I'm so mad, I just want to hurt. I've seen somebody do it with a smile on their face. So it's like you get it, you learn to see these different personalities and accept it, and then say, you know what? Before I go down that dark path, I got to save JR. So I created an alter ego for me, my second deployment, and it was called Tactical JR. That when I put on that suit and I went over there to do my job, nothing would affect me because I felt it affected me, my mental, which was already getting in that system because it's so much we done. We done.
Right.
I lost a lot of guys. I saw a lot in my life over there. I did 3 times in Iraq and a 1 year in Afghanistan. So that's 55
Right.
years of combat.
Yeah, because you joined in 2002, so that was before all the mess. So as soon as all the mess went down, they
We was there.
shot you right over there.
We was there. We was there.
Mm-hmm.
I lost a
Wow.
lot of men and women over there.
Wow. And you say you were in Germany. Man, I feel like you were around the same time. My cousin Pedraza, he's the same journey. Like he was in Germany. He went, to these places. He was deployed for a long time. Around the same time frame. But you said something, and this is one of the reasons I didn't want my son to go into infantry, because I'm like they kill kids sometimes. Like there's bodies that you're gonna see. Like that's a mental thing. That's a very traumatic experience, right? And so I would say coming out of that, what separated you from, let's say, the veterans that are still going through it, coming out of the same time that you did? What do you think separated you from that?
I talked to a lot of veterans, and I think there's no separation, right? So I went to war with a lot of heroes, a lot of them that wasn't recognized, and a lot of them that still believe that they're the same way they were back then, right? So I talked to these guys, men and women, and it's just raising my hand and getting help, right? So I went through 77 days of inpatient. Like you look at me and people would think like, is he? Yeah, I'm injured. I got injured my hand, I injured my back, I got PTSD, I got TBI. I don't glorify it, but I do try to put a spotlight and tell people, be careful how you do things with these veterans, because it's things in them that still don't click and they don't understand. Imagine us being out there and you carrying your weapon for 365 days. This is really simple. They take it from you. You wake up and where's my weapon? You think you lost it, because if you lose it, it's problems out. You're in trouble. Like the base is flipped upside down. So these are little things in your head that you got to come back and develop. So when I was coming back and forth as a kid from my 20s to my 30s, I would have to introduce myself to my daughter Jaden, to Jaylani, born in 2006, to Gigi, like all. So it was like, and then understanding who JR is. Like, am I going to snap today? Is today the day that I don't want to hear anything? Because then you start to see, like when I got back from Germany, and they sent me stateside to El Paso. I did 15 months and came back. I went to 15 months in Missoula and I came back. Then it clicked. It was like something's wrong. Like I didn't even want to party no more. I didn't want to go nowhere. I want to be isolated in my home. I didn't trust nobody. I didn't want. The slightest thing would tick me off. So it was issues to a point to where we saw so many people get hurt and die. Where are we releasing this anger? And nobody was teaching us. It was like, get back in the fight, until I started seeing buddies, individuals like, hey man, I need to take a knee. And that means when we say we take a knee, like take a pause, like what's going on? I don't know, my mental. So that's a different section that we can talk about, that I spent a spotlight on, because not only were we affected mentally, some of us, when they got us from, enlisted us from, like my mental was already. So it's like, put that on top of that. That's an atomic bomb. Where do you go? Now mix that with entrepreneurship when you get out.
Yes.
Atomic bomb. It's like, that's the reason why I move the way I move. I'm very observant. I'm very quiet. I chill. I will only engage if I'm engaged, because at the end of the day, less energy for me, because I'm already always looking for them. Like, okay, who's doing what,
Right. I love that so much. Mi gente, if you're getting value from this, make sure you drop a value in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, again, we love you. Make sure that you follow. And, I've already put his social media, but I'll put it back real quick. Check out his YouTube and his IG. He definitely, has a lot of content about his story on there, that when you put the pieces together of what you're going to hear today, it will definitely make a lot more, sense. Because of course, because of time, we can't talk about everything, but if you put together what he's got going on here, it will definitely make a lot more sense for you. But thank you for talking about that, because it's so hard. And one of the people that you reach out to is veterans. So you went back, you're like, you're pulling, right? Each one teach one. Like you went back and you have these events and you reach and you have this reach to the veterans, which is an incredible thing. Kudos to you. A lot of people just come out, they're like, oh, oh well, you know what I mean? Like they just don't have that drive to go back, and you do. And so kudos to you for that. But let's transition because you talked about entrepreneurship. So you got out of the army, you did 15 years, you went through this entire ordeal, which thank you for your service. I don't think I've said that already, but thank you so much for your service. But now, so now what? So did you get out and you say, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, or you go get a job? What did you do?
No, actually, I started to do self care, right? So I got out of a medical discharge. You know what I'm saying? Honorably, I retired medically. And so I was 77 days in inpatient. I mean, I'm locked up in a crazy home. That means that it's mandatory that I cannot leave this place. Every day we have groups, we have meetings, we have things, modalities that we do. So I went through
Yes.
so many of these programs to get my mind right because I wasn't right. So it's like,
Mm,
how do I get right? And I got my kids, and I'm like, I need to. I can't. I don't have my relationships are failing. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So because I'm affected in so much that I think that I was a smart dummy to a point to where I knew it, but it was like you can't apply that right here, Jr. Like chill out, like don't be so sick. Like I was a lot of serious because it's like no, don't play with me. Like so it was certain points in my life where it was scary. So
mm,
I had to get Jr. right, and then I moved to Florida, and I started Kaiser University with my associates in 2017. So I had got out 2015. So 2 years I did self help. Then I went to do only thing that I loved, which was go back to Afghanistan as a security contractor. So I did that. So it's that because it kept drawing me in. Like this is danger. I need to go get this, this adrenaline pumping again. So I did that a few times. Then I started school at Kaiser, sports medicine, and then I went back again to Afghanistan. Then I got my bachelor's, and then I started this company called Rat Pack Worldwide Security, and me and a couple of friends, and that took us on the whirlwind. I ended up bankrupting, filing for bankruptcy, but it was an amazing journey to the end. But helped me understand, even as veterans, we can't help every veteran, and as people, we
mm.
can't help everybody. And I tell people all the time that a good heart don't pay bills. So you can have a huge heart and you can help so many people. Then some people get clouded or jaded with their distraction of, hey, I just helped you. Like I didn't want anything. But it's like they've been misused so much that it's mine, 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 mine. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I love that, you talk about a big heart, don't pay bills. And mi gente, I say this lightly too. I've had to come to a realization of that too. Because again, we just want to bring everybody and we have this empathy that we just want to help and everybody grow. But the people, they really have to want it. Even the veterans, like understandably, they went through something, but they really have to just not need it, but also want it, right? And so that makes a big difference in that. But you do have a heart of gold, you do have a heart to serve, and that didn't stop you. So I want to go back to something real quick because here you are, you're an entrepreneur, you're an influencer, you're growing, you're helping people all over the world, you're helping children, but you said you filed bankruptcy and your company went under.
yes,
Like what? That those two don't go together. Most people are like right now, like what? He filed what? It's
yeah,
real life. It happens, right?
it happens, man. It was the most scariest thing. I have had eviction notices on my home because of the company. They took my Range Rover. Negative in accounts, loans, deferred. Business is business and it's ugly when it's not done right. So when I failed in business, that's what pumped me to go get my master's of business and understand like I could take, mentorship from this person or this person, but if you don't know business,
Mhm.
then you're not doing anything but telling me things that people done read. Like go get what I'm saying? And I'm not telling every business owner to go get a business degree, but if you're gonna talk business, do something in that business field that you didn't took some time on. You didn't spend some consistency on talking and doing it, right? So people get mad like, oh, you don't have to get no degree, and you really don't. The best hustlers are businessmen and women. But when you fail, what you gonna do? How you gonna come back and show the world that, hey, you know what? I need another shot at this. And that's what happened with me. And I had a chip on my shoulder because I pushed so many people to the top and I left myself at the bottom. And when I fell, nobody came and helped me. So it's just me. JR wins when the company wins, but when the company fails, it's only me. It's not everybody else.
Exactly. Everybody's gone in the wind. Like all of a sudden you're like alone. Whew, whew, those chippers you hear, right? Right? Knowing how you help people. But you said something that I love, and you're right. Everybody doesn't have to get an education, a certificate, right? It's something you chose to do. It's a great thing. I think it's an incredible thing that you've done. However, you still educate yourself. You
Yeah.
still, reading 5 books
Yeah.
and literally applying, not only just reading and for nothing, but literally reading 5 books in a category that you want to be in, that considers you an expert, right? You're ahead of the game than most people. So it's like, okay, if you don't want to go back to school because school's not for everybody, still educate yourself in business, in growth, so you can have these things to fall back on, right? And then of course have people around you who do have these certifications and these things. Maybe it'll influence you to do that, or it'll help you, guide you, into the next level. But I definitely think no matter what in business, like, as you know, I'm definitely learning this. Like, I didn't even know what the word entrepreneur was until I was 35. Mind
Mm.
you, I'm in my early 40s. So that was not that long ago. Okay. I only knew 2 things: a street life or a job. For the
Yeah.
longest, I lived the street life, and then I went and got a job. Okay. So, but you learn a lot. Like, you learn the ups and downs, like you said, right? And the growing process of it. So it's important to educate yourself. I love how you said that. But now that you brought it up, so you got your associates, and then from there you got your bachelor's. How much time was in between there? Look at the dates, right?
3 years. So when I'm done with my doctorate, I would have been in school 10 years from 17 to 2007 because I will be done in 2027 with my doctorate.
Okay.
So that's 10 years of education. Not talking about the degrees. So underneath that, I got certifications like my project management, my business analysis, my motivational certification, my life coach. So them 10 years I put into myself to say, you know what, I did a lot of good things in the military and I got a lot of awards but that ain't gonna help me in this outside world, especially
Mm.
where I wanted to go.
As
But
a civilian, right?
so when I
Mhm.
failed, I didn't have none of this stuff. When I failed, I only had associates and bachelors. After that, I got my project management, my master's, my PBA, motivational life, all them things that say, you know what, God, this is what you want me to do. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm
Right.
gonna put the time in. I don't care what grade I get. I'm gonna put the time in. So when I get to where I'm going, when they peel back the onion, they're like, no, this kid put the work in.
Right. And that's why I ask how much time, because people think like, oh, it's too late, or, they can't start, or, oh, they don't have time to do it. By the time they've done, they're going to be in their 50. Like, so what? Like, this picture was just recently taken because you just recently graduated. So shout out to you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right. So this is when you graduated with your master's, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So your master's in business?
Yes.
Yes, master's in business. Now he's going for his doctorate. This was just recently. And this is kudos to you. Like, you're in your 40s and
Yeah.
he just graduated with his master's. Mi gente, it's never too late to go out there and live your dreams. If this is your dream, find a way. It will be funded. Where God guides, God provides, right? And I really believe that. So congratulations.
I think though too that the Western way of how they teach us, because I travel the world, so when I talk from different places of the world. So when I speak West, I'm talking about us, United States, right? So
Yeah.
how we think about things, I don't think that sometimes there's options in multiple ways how to get to that one road, right? So some say get out, high school, college, married, picket fence, dog.
Right. Right.
But you can actually take a different way and come back to the same way. Like right now, I see me. Um, I thought everybody was ahead of me. All my peers or people that wasn't in the military, that's my age, they had time to go to schools, get married, have kids, do all that stuff. So I felt like I was
Mhm.
behind. So when I started my journey, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm running my
Trying to
marathon.
run, trying to catch up.
And you see it all, it's two things they can't take away, right? And that's if you put us in a hiring situation, we both have the same degree or certifications, but you can't go back and get that military experience, especially at
Mm,
the time I did, right? So the
right,
time we did was the golden time is from '02
right.
to 2010, that was back-to-back combat war tours. We was there, Iraq, Afghanistan, as babies. Like under,
Right.
like I was 3 times in Iraq. I lost
Right.
3 guys. So it's like I live there. I know this place like the back of my hand. So when I get out, that's all I know. But it's like, okay, JR, as a veteran, like the question you asked, some of us get out and we stay there because we've accomplished so much. We think we can't accomplish in another realm. So
Right.
realm of civilian world, you're right here. So when I got out and said, okay, Jared, do you really want to sit down and get your degree? My mind was I had TBI, traumatic brain injury, so I couldn't remember a lot of things. So I started slowly coloring, one, two, three, all that. I can talk, but I ain't been in school in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
but look at me now. I'm 43,
Right.
and if you look at the average 43, then we right back here again.
Right.
So
Exactly. And I want to talk about that because you just said that same thing. Like when you go and look at the degrees and when you're sitting for a job or a opportunity, whatever that looks like, and they're looking at degrees, even if you're not military, it's not too late for you yet because no one's looking to see how long it took you to get these degrees. Oh, did you just get it? Oh, you just came out of school? Well, no, we're going to hire the guy that got out of school 10 years ago. Like, no, actually, it might be the opposite because you're more fresh and more newer into what's going on right now. But they're not looking at that. It's just the degree period plus the experience of whatever it is that you do. So I love that you just said that. Is definitely, definitely,
I,
huge.
I think too that as adults, if we're in our 30s, they make school so personal now to a point to where you could do it online. So I did all my masters online. I just went to do 1 or 2 classroom sessions a month. So everything was online. So if you working or you raising a family, you have like there's really no if you really want to get it done.
Yeah, if you want to get it done, right.
And I didn't get it for everybody else. I got it for my kids so they can see that daddy persevered. I did it. I got it for people who counted me out. Hey, you know what? That's it. We that's the last arrow. We sunk him. Now I'm right here. And this
Right.
caused me to pivot to motivational speaking to let these veterans know, to let these women know, to let these kids know, to let these hood people know, hey, listen, you can. And right now, I was adamant. I'm not changing how I look when I walk across the stage when I get my doctorate because I got to let these kids know you can look exactly like me and get a doctorate and change the world.
Right, exactly. And that doesn't matter. And so, see, going right into that, I love that you said, you help veterans, you help women, you help children. At the end of the day, children are definitely um are hold on one second. I'm trying to pull this up here. I seen this little clip here and I had to grab it because I was like, oh my goodness, I love this. Like, you're here at this event, you're signing kids' shirts, kids are looking up to you. And
Yeah.
like you said, you're not in a suit. You're not
No.
in like you're in your thing. You got your RH2G in the background.
Yeah.
That's right hand to God. That's his, promotional. That's his company, right?
Yeah.
That you are the founder of. And so, like, this is you. You have your shades on and you relate, right? Kids can see that and be like, man, that looks like me, right? That looks like my dad, but my dad might be in the corner. He's here doing this. I can do that too. I don't have to do this, right? Or
Right.
maybe my dad is his best friend, or, you just, you look like them and they love on that so much, right? And I want to play this little thing real quick because I thought this was the cutest thing. And then I want you to be able to tell us what was this. I hope that people can hear it. Let's see. Oh no, you can't hear it. Why? Let me try again. Oh, you can't hear it. Okay, but you guys see that it's going. It's a video. He's telling them, "Pull, listen." It's the text is going right on here. What were you teaching these kids at the moment?
So I play games with the kids because when you speak to these children, you have to cultivate them, right? And you got to catch their attention because it's really short. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, squirrel. So when you talk to these kids, you got to bring them in. So they was turning up, but I had to bring them in with a game. And this is one of my games. It's called this was called doubt. So the towel is doubt. So it's like, okay, if you're a person that doubt and you're an introvert and you don't want to integrate with your friends, your family, you're going through some things, you don't want to talk to nobody, and you're doubting your judgment on situations in school and all it as a child, we're thinking about so much. Pull, and doubt is kicking your butt. And I'm pulling you. You ain't, and I'm strong. You ain't going nowhere. Call a friend, and they would bring up a friend. Okay, now I got 3 friends. We could pull doubt together. Okay,
Mm,
okay. The biggest mission was rotate your friends. Every friend is not for every mission. So put this
Mhm.
friend here to listen, put this friend to pull, and this friend to cheer, or put this friend to cheer, this one to listen. And then once they started to figure out, then they pulled me, and that was it. I taught them. I said, hey, lean on each other. Everybody is not for everybody, but there's somebody for somebody. If you feel me.
Yes, I love that. And you do have different set of friends. There's some that's going to be there for this. Even now as adults, right? There's those ones that, I have this one girlfriend that she is my spiritual sister. And I call her when I have something going on with my husband because, it's normal. Because I know she going to check me. She my friend, but she'll check me quick about like, hey, well, did you do what you got to do as well? Like, you know what I mean? So like you have those different people. So to be able to teach these kids, like you have this doubt. And if all of you together are pulling that doubt and inspiring each other, it'll get it away. Oh, I love that so much. When I see that video, it touched my heart. I was like, I gotta share that video. So I love that you do this. You literally were just at a women's conference, literally speaking to the whole room was full of women. Like I'm sitting there in the front,
Yeah,
the whole room's full of women, but you are able to connect in a different way, right? And
right.
so that's an incredible thing to be able to do that, right? That's a gift. So kudos to you for owning that, honing in on it, really, just getting that gift. And I know that you do so because, your mom and your sisters and, you just want to touch, but you did something really amazing at that event that I want to talk about before we transition into the next event that's coming up, which I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah,
But you literally called out a pregnant woman at that event.
yeah,
And the funny thing is
yeah,
that the girl that I was with, Brittany, shout out Brittany, we love you, girl. We're sitting next to each other and we looked at each other and we're like, because we hadn't even noticed that she was pregnant, right? And so we did see her standing, but still, we were like, oh my goodness. So like the fact that you called that out and like you said that the baby was like in the right place and that anointing that just happened with that mom holding her, that was beautiful.
right. Thank you.
That was so beautiful. And I just want to shout out you to that because most people can't connect like that, especially a man to a woman in that kind of a way. You see what
Wow.
I'm saying? Like a
Right.
girl going up there, you pregnant, sis? So we feel you. Oh my goodness. Like we understand that. But for you to call that out, right? And even the mom, I think, was a little taken back, like, wow, like this is beautiful, right? And so I just wanted to say that that's definitely a gift that you have. And thank you for, sharing it with the world because all of us have this special gift, whether it's with women, children, whatever the case may be. You might make jewelry, you might do shirts, whatever. There's a special, you're assigned. We're all assigned people. But most of us just don't know how to get there yet. And so you've gotten there and you're helping people get there. And kudos to you on that. But transitioning, because for the sake of time, I definitely want to transition. I want to talk about this. So you are going all around, you're speaking, you're motivational speaker, the hood motivator. One of the things that I do want to go back to on this video real quick. I don't know if anybody noticed that back part right there. That is his, mojo. That's him. That's the hood. I was actually looking for that picture and I didn't get to find it to put it on here, but I thought it was super cute because this will be everywhere, no matter where you are, right? This is the hood motivator. He doesn't change it because he's in a boardroom. He
Yeah,
doesn't change it because he's at, graduation, right? And
yeah,
so just that authenticity is what we love. And you have something coming up and it's actually part 2.
yeah.
So talk to us about the Shake the Room conference.
Well, it's part 2 of Shake the Room. If you guys didn't come to the first one, God led me to create my own conference because I was invited to a bunch of conferences, but people wanted to change what you just spoke about, the HUD motivator, not understanding the real diversity of it, what it really means, right? So
Right.
that picture it might intimidate some people that don't understand. The name might intimidate, but I put a lot of great thought process into that because if you see me speak, I look
Mhm.
just like him. But when I open my mouth, it's like, okay, he's intelligent. Yeah, I'm intelligent for a reason because I listen, I understand. You could judge that book by its cover, but you just lost out on a great value if you look over me, and that's because
Exactly.
I'm very diverse. Um I don't just put my energy into one thing. I can speak to different platforms because I relate, not because I want to talk like this person or this. No, I relate because I've been there. I grew up with all women. I know how to understand kids. I love my kids. I love to talk to these kids. I think they're the future, the veterans. I serve my country, the hood people. I grew up. My mother was a crack addict. She died of AIDS. I was a crack baby, so I can speak to this, and I think I can speak life. So I think that the conference is about all of collective together. I'm the last speaker, but you got people that's fixing credit, you got licensed therapists, you got authors, you got people that's talking about mental health, other motivational speakers all in one building to shake the room. And then I end it with my speech. But at the end of the day, you have a lot of vendors, and this is for the community. It's for the community.
Right,
I see
right.
next couple of years, this is going to be all over the world doing tours because I decided to invest in this situation and say, this is what my team is going to do, and this is what we're going to do. And shout out to Crossover and Pastor Tommy for believing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Pastor Tommy, like, he's a God's gift. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad's a bishop, so I really like I lean heavy on my father. But Pastor Tommy is dope. You know, he knows he you can't BS him. So he knows already where you going, what your heart is. Even like for him to hear like allegations of me or certain things, he watched my heart, and he knew already
Right.
move like that because people chirp and they talk, and I don't get involved in that. But at the end of the day, he saw me for what it is, and he allowed me to put this great event on, which I'm doing 3 times a year now at Crossover Church. And my objective is in the next few years make a lot of money so we can pay these speakers so they can come and enjoy, and then have a big headliner come so the church is packed. Now you got
Yes.
the crowd looking at you, and that's my big thing. And then I have a book coming out, so at the last event I probably debut my book and have a signing thing. But this is what Shake the Room is, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I got offers to bring it to El Paso. I got an offer to bring it to Colorado, Los Angeles. So
I
just
love that. I love how you said that, that picture people get, oh, well, maybe if you could tone it down, you can come. Or maybe, we don't see you as this kind of speaker, but we see you as this. But you said, I'm creating my own, then let's go because I'm for everybody. And I love that so much. I definitely can relate to that. And I love how you said filling the place and honoring where it's happening, because people are going to say, okay, what is this place on the normal? Like, where is this on the regular? So it's all a big connection and a big growth. But at the end of the day, it's for the people. And guess what, mi gente? Listen, let me tell y'all, I pay a lot of money for events. Like listen, I will too in a heartbeat, but this event is free.
yeah,
Like literally. And I hate that it is free in a way. Not hate. I hate to say that word. It's dislike, because people don't take, that thing, that because it's free, they didn't put no pay for it, because it has so much value. However, I love that it's free because there's people who can't afford it, or who are not there yet, and who are unable to, be able to do something like this. And I know you can't copy the link. I'm going to make sure that it's in the chats. Okay. But all you have to do is also look this up just like that, and it'll come up. It'll come right up on
yeah.
Eventbrite, right? And also, let me put this up as well so people can see the flyer if you wanted to see it in a different way. This is part 2. Shake the Room conference is happening August 24th. Can you give us the time on that again, JR?
Yeah, it starts at 10 o'clock, 10 to 4. We're going to be
10
there
to
all
4.
day with the vendors. Food is being served. And just come and get all this good information all in one room and networking. And, I love that I throw these events because a lot of people network with each other and they take that away. So I got a lot of more people coming to this one.
Yes, it's going to be so good. So make sure you're there. You heard they're going to have, all of these things lined up. Also, you mentioned some vendors. If you're a vendor, vendors wanted. Listen, free. I will put the email until who it has to go to anybody who DM me. I want to be at this event. This is a networking event in Tampa Bay area. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're somebody who wants to grow anything that you have, of course, that you're bringing value, this is the place that you want to be at. You want to have a table at this location, because I'm telling you, the networking possibilities and the opportunities for you to grow, and it's free. Most places, again, the minimum charge, and I know this because I do my research, is the minimum charge is $150 to be a vendor at an event. That's the minimum. Okay, it can run anywhere from that to $500 to $1,000 depending on what the event is.
Yeah.
So mi gente, y'all hear it. Shake the Room conference too. If you have a product that you want to put on display, this is the time to do so and be able to do so for free at an incredible event. And I'm really, really thankful. I'm going to put this one back up here. Shake the Room conference part 2 is happening 10 to 4. That doesn't mean show up at 11, show up at 12. I'm going to keep it real, y'all. Y'all need to be there at 9:45. Get your seats, pen and paper, ready to go, right? Note takers are money makers, right? Note takers are history makers. And get ready to go because this is going to be an incredible event. And so you said that there's going to be some credit people, there's licensed therapists that are going to be talking. So this is an all around be able to shake your everything that you got going on in your life, your mindset, your growth, your money, your business, your networking event. And so you were to say, if you could say one sentence about this conference, what would it be? Like if you could just say one sentence.
Oh man, this is gonna be an epic part two. So stay tuned.
Exactly. And if there's a part two to anything, first of all, not knocking the first one because it was so good. Okay. But as we all know, if there's a part two that tells you it's a need and that people want it,
Yep.
number two, then the second thing, oh my goodness, what is that called when it's the second movie?
A sequel.
The sequel is always better than the first one. Right?
Yep.
Single movie, every single thing that we've been on, the sequel is always better than the first one. So just you guys seeing that too on there lets you know that this is where you want to be on August 24th. If you have questions, DM me. I'll make sure it's everything. The information is on the comments as well. It's going to be so good. And so, as we're talking here with the Hood Motivator and we're getting ready to wrap it up, before I ask you that last question, I do want to talk about, the motivational speaking. Like a lot of people can say, motivation wears off, right? So, some people are trying to call themselves like different things so that it doesn't say motivation. So, but you stuck to that. You're the Hood Motivator. I would ask you what makes that different for you? What is it that you're like, no, I'm a motivational speaker and I'm proud of it?
Because without an engine, a car can't run, right? So there's a lot of pieces to that engine, right? So when you put that motivation in, it's kind of like fuel. So I'm going to continue to try to get that fuel and put it in. Even if you hybrid, let's plug you to the wall. Let's, what I'm saying, whatever car you in, we're going to try to jumpstart you, motivate you to get you going. Then you can go to the shop and get whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? But we got to get you off this road. So at the end of the day, if I can pull up to where you parked at and try to help you in assistance as far as like, hey, what else do you need? Let me do this. And I will say there's a lot, I believe a lot of people are backpedaling for motivation or motivator because they don't look the part, right? So when I look at someone that's trying to tell me to do something, you better done it too. Or you better fail. I'm not speaking because my homie went through it. I'm not speaking because my auntie. I'm speaking on the things that I personally that I can tell you this works. And if it don't, I'll be right there by your side. Right. So it's not I tell people that I try to tread carefully of how I do it because I want to be my instrument that God wants me to be. Right. So I can't tell you to go to the gym if I don't look like I don't stay in the gym. I can't tell you to climb up that ladder if I never went that way. I can't tell you nothing about education if I never did it myself. I can't tell you about the army or being a veteran or being broke or homeless or gang banging or jail if I never done it. I done it. So that's why I carry it because I embrace it because it's who I am. I'm a warrior and a warrior's peaceful and a warrior is smart and intelligent. He's loving. He loves his family. And at the end of the day, this is what I am.
Yeah, I love that. That's a amazing answer. Thank you so much for saying that because you're right. That's why I asked that question because a lot of people are trying to divert themselves from that, not realizing that it is what it is, right? Even doesn't matter. Motivation wears off. It's like going to the gym. If you stop working out, those muscles gonna get loose. They ain't gonna stay there. You know what I'm saying? So you need the consistent motivation, right? And so it is definitely an important thing that you're doing out there, and we don't take it lightly. Like we're so grateful and thankful that we get this opportunity to do so. And like you said, you have to relate. Like I help women be unapologetically who they are. I'm not going to say I help veterans. I couldn't say that because I've never been a veteran, right? I've never been to the military, right? But I know that I was an employee for this long, that I was in the streets for this long, and I've been an entrepreneur for this long. So I know that I can transition in through those stages, right? And so it's all about relating to what you've got going on. So thank you so much, JR. This has been so good, mi gente. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for everything. Now, the question that I ask everybody to end this is, if you had 2 minutes to talk to the person that you care about the most in this world, and you knew that you were never going to talk to them again, and you wanted to give them value, to leave them with something, what would that be?
2 minutes.
Yeah, for a minute.
Or a minute.
A minute here.
I think it will be my kids, because they carry the legacy of me and my name, and I will let them know, don't be scared, enter the world um, as a niche, understand who you are and be yourself, be your completely self, like understand why God put you here. And I think that takes time too. So I would ask them to be cautious with their time. You know what I'm saying? Time is very valuable, and we only get one life to live. And I saw a lot of lives being taken when I was a kid, before the military, and when I was in the military. So I'm very cautious of how I walk that route, right? So I've been around where babies are born and people's lives are took. So I see the beginning and the end, and I saw it so frequently. So I would warn them, just be cognizant of the company they keep and who they talk to, and understand about life, and search for knowledge. And knowledge don't always have to be in the education system. It can be through YouTube, and it can be through the internet, but know new things every day so you can talk about it, so you can share that and pass that down. So, you know.
I love that so much. Oh my goodness, you guys, if you didn't catch that, watch the replay, even if you have to fast forward to the end and take notes, because he said, fear, right? Don't be scared. Don't be scared, because we are so scared. Make sure you have knowledge, right? Make sure you build yourself up with the information. And it takes time. It takes time. And those are the biggest things. And that's incredible advice. Thank you so much. Again, this is how we find you. Is this how we find you? Is this correct? At the Hood Motivator. Like, if you just pull this up even on Google, it will pull up all of his YouTubes. He does have a podcast, RH2G, right hand. I did it with my left hand. Hold on. I'm doing it with my right hand. Right hand to God, right? When we put that right hand, right? And so thank you so much again for just, your incredible service, right? You're saying that this is my God-given gift and purpose. And I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me, and let's keep, switching that energy, and it's just supporting one another. That's what it's all about. At the top, there's no bickering. At the bottom, there's a lot of coattailing. So I want to be able
Yes.
to pull people up to where I'm at and give them, because it's only one me. So I can't be nobody else but me, but I can help somebody be that.
Exactly. So we're going to end this here. I think this is the perfect way. Proverbs 3:5-6 says to trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your path. I think if you put together everything that we talked about today and add it to this scripture, mi gente, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and the next level. I hope to see you all on August 24th. I'll definitely see you all in the comments and the DMs, likes and shares. Make sure you follow JR. The Hood Motivator is THA. Okay. The Hood Motivator. And I will see you at the Shake the Room conference. And next Tuesday, 8 p.m. EST. That is the Speak Easy with Idylli show. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.